Okay, I kind of just made the decision that it's still kind of cold and raw out, and I want to take a break from those damn snow blowers and take a look at this Ruttman that I got a few weeks back and haven't done anything to. That band brake, every time I walk by it kind of bugs the hell out of me, so I want to see if I can bend that back into shape. I think I'll pull the engine off, just clean things up and see how they look. Kind of like what I've been doing with the snow blower, seeing really what's broken, what's not. I think I might have some bushings for the rear wheel if those are missing. Okay, the sun's sort of come back out. I pulled the engine off the Ruttman. Took the grips off too. They were all taped up because they were the wrong size. Harley Davidson throttles on both sides, kind of weird. I need spacers in the back, but what I really want to do is just get the grime off of it. Certainly not going to paint it right now. It's just too much of a chore. But I'd like to get it to roll better, so I want to see if I might have some bushings for it or something so it can roll and get it clean, like I said. Yeah, I got a lot of just the crud off of it. Might not look it, but it's cleaner. Next I'm going to wipe it down with some ATF. It's a little trick I learned from 66 Ford on YouTube. Great channel if you haven't been there. Kind of preserves things. I think it's a little cleaner. Getting out some of the crap, I noticed that it once was purple. So you look underneath. You can see the engine plate is purple or lavenderish. That's probably original paint, don't you think? It's funny, I was trying to determine what horsepower this engine was, and there it is, right in front of me. I don't know why I couldn't see it. Maybe it was, I don't know. But the number is a Sears Craftsman number. And the guys at oldminibikes.com helped me out. Figuring out, they said it was a 3.5, but this says 4 horse. Who knows? There's a Harley Davidson throttle. It's weird, it looks 7/8, so I guess it's just the grips. Kind of bozo it together, but not sure if I'm going to use this engine or not, but I definitely want to get rid of that because they were running it without an air filter. If you can see in there, I don't know if you can. So I want to get an air filter on it. It's fairly clean. I used to have a rule that I never had more than 2 projects going on at a time, and that rule has been shattered because I got about 12 things apart now. Put the engine back on kind of loosely. I want to line up the rear wheel so that I can figure out how big the bushings need to be with a chain on it. I have a chain from the Little Indian, and I'm sure I can make it fit so that it's at least slack so that I can see the bushing size once again. I cleaned up the axle. This thing was a mess, and put a little lube on the bearings so that maybe the axle will slide through a little better, because that was kind of rough. Now I always figure that the rear wheel should be pretty much straight in the center. You know, I couldn't see it being off to one side or the other, so I think that's where you first start to line it up and go from there. The axle was pretty stiff still going through. I don't know why. And it's spinning now, which I don't like, so something weird is there. But we'll see if we can line up. You could probably see the line up here better than I can with the clutch. So I seem to have one nice bushing that fit the bill on the drive side, but this side I got like 3. I got a bearing in there, an old spun bearing, frozen bearing, and a couple of other spacers, but they're about the right size. So when I go to order one, at least I'll know how big it's supposed to be, because it looks pretty straight. Okay, what's next? Maybe try to straighten out the band brake. Kind of weird that I have a nice clean set of wrenches in my toolbox, and in my crappy toolbox that I take outside I have my crappy wrenches, which get used a lot more than these. Should be the other way around, I think. So we got this bent back in relative shape. That looks not too bad, not great. I'm going to glue that band on with JB Weld. And I'm going to put it around that clutch housing and clamp it tight. I think that might work good.